On today's show, Jackson State has 800 plus members at their Day with the Boom. Where are all the wind ensembles? I mean, it's the spring semester. And Honda in Cali? All this and more coming up next on Luke's Band Report. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whenever you're watching me right now. My name is Jay Luke, the owner and operator of the Passion Is Network, and I'm also the host of Talk That Talk. You can pick up any of our merchandise at www.realtalkthattalk.com. All right, man, let's jump into it. First of all, I know it's been a while, but I mean, honestly, the band world's been kind of silent. And so because of that, just haven't made anything, but it's okay because we got some news to talk about right now. So on this day, the full eclipse day, which if you're going to be watching the eclipse, just wear your glasses. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to be watching it. But I'm not going to get into that whole conversation. But with that being said, let's get into this, man. So I've been seeing the videos, I've been seeing the pictures. Yo, shout out to Jackson State and what they have been doing there. 800 plus members for their Day with the Boom. I'm telling you, that's an amazing thing, bro. I mean, I'm watching and I'm looking at this video and I'm seeing Jackson State sitting right in the middle, and I'm looking on the left side. And it's really two bands on the left side. If you really break it up, it's really two bands in that left side. And it's two bands really on the right side. Like, you can form two bands with both of those sides. Technically, you got the Boom and four bands there. But I digress. 800 plus members. I think that is a phenomenal thing. Shouts out to you, Jackson State. Shouts out to the whole team, the whole staff for what they're doing. But it raises a bigger question, in my personal opinion. What does this say really about what they're doing from a recruitment standpoint and visibility standpoint? Let's be very honest and let's be very candid about this. Jackson this year has been to me, when it comes to HBCU bands, the all-around package. I mean, they've given you the wow factor as far as sound. They've given you, cleanliness and the things that they're doing, cleanliness in their drills. They're giving it to you. And then, to be very honest, and we're going to get kind of into this on the next topic, but they've also given you some of the wind ensemble stuff. So they've given you an all-around program. And in my opinion, they've been the top HBCU band this year. And now what you've also seen is they've kind of stepped up when it comes to the media department. And so they have gotten their media team out there. They've gotten a new person over the media team. Shout out to you. And they have taken off and they're doing a phenomenal job. And so honestly, I mean, when you talk about competing in comparisons, how do you compete with that? Right? Because I think that we're in a space now where we're always looking to do the next big thing or to match the next thing, right? But what does that look like going forward from other programs? I like the way that Jackson's doing it. And don't get me wrong, I know Southern has done it in the past. I know they were kind of the pioneer when it comes to the media thing from an HBCU standpoint and really getting the media, team out there. Shout out to Garrett and what he did. But with that being said, I think that the product that Jackson has put out this year has been something very commendable, and it's been something that people have been excited about seeing. And so I can easily say that that's probably one of the reasons why you get the 800 plus members. But I also want to say, like, where do you go next when it comes to other HBCU band programs, smaller HBCU band programs? Because let's keep it a buck. I mean, we all know this. Jackson is the only HBCU in Mississippi. And when you start looking at other programs in different areas, so on and so forth, like I said, the smaller programs, the Clark Atlantas, the Johnson C. Smiths, shout out to Dr. Brock, who was on Talk That Talk. But, where does that put them in terms of recruitment? Because let's be real, I'm not going to assume, and I would almost be crazy to assume that all of those kids came from Mississippi. I'm going to be very honest in saying that more than likely a lot of those kids came from the cities or the states. And so, when you start looking at the recruiting poll, how do we get those kids into, that number of kids or even a fraction of those kids into other programs and get them interested in other programs? And that's just something that kind of came up in my mind when I was looking at that. Like I said, I think that's a great thing for Jackson. I think it's an awesome recruiting tool. I think that what they're doing, again, is really, really moving the needle. In terms of, moving forward and what this HBCU band world looks like. And, hats off to you guys, the whole staff over there. But again, that's the only thing that just came into my mind. I think it's great, but it also makes me wonder what that looks like from a recruiting standpoint from the smaller universities, not necessarily the big ones, because now that's kind of proven, that Jackson is not going to have a recruiting issue. I don't think Southern, obviously is not going to have a recruiting issue. And some of the more known programs, Grambling, I don't think is going to have necessarily a recruiting issue. So these bigger programs that we're looking at, I don't think they're going to have recruiting issues. But when you look at that, what is that going to look like for the smaller programs? Right now I'm perfectly rooting for the smaller programs. So that's where my mind went to. But again, shout out to Brother Little and the staff over there at Jackson State. What they're doing, I think, is great. And I'm gonna be honest. Again, here we go with the J5 fan again. It felt good to see J5 out there again doing their thing. It's kind of evident they haven't done it in a while. Let's be fair. But no, I still think that they were out there doing their thing. So again, shout out to the Jackson State program. Moving on into the next topic though, wind ensembles. So first off, I want to say shout out to everyone who went to high school programs, middle school programs, so on and so forth in different states. Here in the state of Texas, we do UIL. But shout out to all of you all who have gone to your adjudications and received superior ratings, excellent ratings, good ratings, whatever work that you've put in with those kids, whatever you got that came out on the other side, I think is commendable. As long as you put in some valiant work, man, and because at the end of the day, growth is what is important. And we will have a conversation about adjudication on Talk That Talk, because there is something that I want to talk about. But universities, colleges, shout out to the HBCU National Band and Orchestra Directors Consortium, because they just had their consortium, and I know Alabama A&M played their wind ensemble played there. So shout out to Alabama A&M. But my question is, and we have to ask this question every year, 800 plus people, day with the boom, dope. Where's the videos of Alabama A&M wind ensemble? And this is not one of those things where I'm like, or like where people are like, well, we have to, nobody, or we got to see the wind ensemble over the, no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, where's the showcase of the versatility of what these programs do? That's all I'm talking about, right? Where is that being shown? And where's the energy for that being shown? We've seen every facet of what we do in the band world. We've seen the football season and the marching band. We went ahead and we've seen parade season. So where's that next thing? Where's the jazz band? Where are the wind ensembles? And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Just being more consistent on showing the different facets based on the season that you're in. And to be fair, let's be fair. I know some programs are coming off of spring break. And I think some are going in too, but some programs are coming off of spring break. I know basketball season was a thing. I get all of those things, but I mean, we've seen the pet bands too. So again, the question is, where's the other facet of your program? That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying that it needs to be the one that needs to shine or be the prevalent on your page. Just asking, where is it? I just wanted to see it. I wanted to see and hear these wind ensemble programs, hear how great they are, the development of the kids. I want to hear that from the HBCUs. I want to hear that from the university programs. Why? Because we're getting them on the secondary level, technically because we have to, right? Where is that from the institutions of higher learning? And that's all I'm asking. I'm not saying that you all aren't doing them. I'm not even saying that you're not putting focus in them. Just curious as to where they are. Where's the videos? Even if it's a camera phone, that's all I'm saying. Oh, and quick plug when we're talking about spring semesters and so on and so forth. Shout out to all the new brothers of KK Psi and the sisters of Tau Beta Sigma. I've seen a lot of probates that have been happening, and we're coming into the spring semester, and so we're going to see a lot more. But again, shout out to you guys. Congratulations. And also Sigma Alpha Iota, and Phi Mu Alpha. Quick plug for all the new brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha as well. And then final thing, the big thing that popped up on the timeline, I want to say about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was just kind of plastered everywhere. So allegedly, and I have to say allegedly because there has been no announcement from Honda. There has been no Instagram post from Honda about this, but allegedly this information has been passed around that Honda will be in California. And let me go ahead and just say exactly what everyone has thought and has been thinking. Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. And honestly, I don't even, here's the reason why. Let's really look at this logistically. West Coast, it's already a struggle. And I mean a struggle for bands to travel from Texas to Atlanta. Whether you want to slice it that way or not, it really is. Kind of Louisiana to Atlanta. Anywhere in that area to Atlanta is kind of a struggle. From Virginia to Atlanta, struggle. Now you're expecting these programs to travel out west. Are you paying, like literally paying for those programs to show up? Now, why am I asking that question? Let's backtrack for a second. Let's be real. HBCU marching bands, historically Southern, not Southern University, but just a Southern thing. It's in the South. That's just kind of what it is. We've kind of migrated from the South, kind of up north, South, whatever, however you want to look at it. Because I look at Virginia as up north, but they still call it South, whatever. But my point is, it's inherently South. You're trying to bring it out west, allegedly, and get the culture out there. Noble. No. Cost. The average cost of gas prices right now in California, now look this up, is $5.31. That's regular. Premium is $5.67. Let me be completely honest with you. Yesterday down the street from my house, my gas was $2.99. Unfortunately, today it's like $3.35, but that's about the highest I've ever seen it. So, and we know the cost of everything is higher in California. So whatever you were normally paying for hotels and stuff like that, you're probably going to pay double to bring 10 bands to California and pay for them to travel with gas included, so on and so forth. And you're asking for a longer travel, which means that the next question would be the money that you quote unquote give these programs that I don't even necessarily have never seen really as a benefit? Are you going to give them more money for longer travel? And will this travel be all by plane? Because who's riding a bus? What 10 bands is riding buses from the South to California to perform, to ride a bus, to go back? I don't know directors or too many directors who's going to put their kids through that without a flight. And imagine the number of flights that you have to get. Because, I mean, if this is for you to be able to showcase what HBCUs do, then obviously the voting for this is going to be rigged, because you're going to want to try to get your top programs at this performance, which means, I'm going to be honest, you're going to have Jackson there. You're going to have Southern there. You're going to have one of the Florida ones there, whether it's Bethune or FAM. You can't have both. Not in this particular time. You can't. You got to have Texas Southern there. You got to have PV there. And I throw both Texas Southern and PV in the ring because of the fact that, one, Texas Southern is on the come up, and PV is a unique program in the sense that they don't look like any of the other programs that I named. But they still bring something to the table. You got to invite A&T because they fall in the same category as Prairie View, where they don't look like any other program. So then that leaves the smaller bands out. But now you're talking about programs that you got to pay for with 200 plus members. Are you ready for that? Are you equipped for that? Now, that's just to get them there. That's just for them to perform. We're not even talking about the spectators who are probably going to migrate from the South too. So now you're talking about people having to not only migrate from the South, but then pay for hotels or Airbnbs or wherever they do, pay for the gas that I've already said for us here in the state of Texas, specifically where I am, is $2 higher per gallon. No. In Spanish, no. It's not a good idea. It's just not. It just isn't. Like, again, I think that what you all, if this is, because again, this is alleged, but if this is actually something that you're trying to do and actually something that you're doing to try to bring that culture to the area, again, I think it's a noble cause. I really do. No. I think you'll lose more than you win. Because let's be real, there are going to always be people who show up. There are always outliers to every single situation in life. Whatever you look at, there's always going to be outliers. There's going to be people who's like, yeah, I'm paying for it, blah, blah, blah. And even if you have the big programs up there going back and forth with each other, which I don't ever see Honda doing anything back and forth, actually having a stands like battle, it'll always be a field show, which I'm not opposed to, but I think that you need to add a stand element to it. But even if you had all the big names there, I still don't think the turnout would be exactly what you're looking for. Honestly, I think Honda, you don't need to be in Cali, but I also don't think you need to be in Georgia, but I don't think you need to be in Alabama either. There really, in my opinion, isn't really a neutral location. I think that there are just locations that you have to go to that are semi-favorable when it comes to travel, when it comes to expenses, and places in which people are interested in traveling to, in which they've never gone. Being a Houston native, I wouldn't even suggest having it in Houston. Why? Because National Battle of the Bands has that sold up. So people who are not from the Texas area or Houston, they've already kind of seen what Houston looks like and what it has to offer, based on the fact that the National Battle of the Bands already covers that. So I wouldn't suggest my home. I would suggest Florida. It's a place that on most occasions we haven't really seen a lot of Battle of the Bands, and unless you're talking about when FAMU and Bethune go at it. So, and you talking about Florida. Well, this is kind of Florida coming out of the winter months. So you probably ain't really getting, like cold air and stuff like that, winter season in Florida like that. So I would suggest that. Or Louisiana. But just another place that can be an attractive place for a lot of people to travel. And I'm talking about spectators to travel. And then when you're talking about bands, something that's not going to be too taxing on the traveler or the students traveling, it's going to keep your costs low. But Cali ain't it. Cali ain't it. Just saying. Anyway, what's you guys' thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, man. I'm really curious to hear what you all and read what you all have got to say about California and the alleged Honda Battle bands in California. Also, I'm actually interested in what you guys think about the 800 plus members. What do you think that's going to do for, or what is that going to say for younger bands who are trying to recruit? I mean, obviously, finances are just not the same when you're talking about bigger programs to smaller programs. So what do you guys think that's going to happen, or how does that look for them? Also, man, if you guys have any topics that you would like for me to talk about as it relates to Luke's Band Report and anything that's happening in the band world, just go ahead and leave them in the comment section as well. I read all of the comments. I think that they're interesting. I always like to respond to some of them when I can, but man, just go ahead and leave in the comments. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network. Turn on your notifications, man, so that when we have something going on, it'll pop up right on your screen. Also, please make sure to like this and share this out. This has been great. And as long as I get some new information, I'll keep seeing you. So other than that, I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys next time on Luke's Band Report.